everybody, it's Hannah. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Declutter Part 5 on my channel, the actual Part 5. I know I said Part 5 in last video, but I was wrong. This is going to be the Part 5, and this is going to be all of my primers, foundation, concealer, and setting sprays. As you can see, there's a lot going on. I still have a lot more, like, outside of the frame, more than this, which is crazy, and I think I can definitely declutter quite a few things from here. So, I'm going to take everything out of all these containers and all of these bins and separate everything into their respective categories, and I will be right back. Alright, so I think this is all of my primers that I have at the very moment. I don't have too many, but there are actually definitely some that I think I can already get rid of just by looking at this. One that I know I'm not going to use is this e.l.f. Luminous Putty Primer. This is the Universal Glow one. This one is actually still sealed. Just felt that the original Putty Primer was actually quite greasy on me, so I don't think I would actually even like the Luminous one. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this one on to somebody else, and hopefully they have tried the original one, or they tried this one and they like it and they want like a little sample. But I am going to go ahead and pass this one along for now. This is actually a little foundation sample that snuck in. I'm also going to be getting rid of this. This is the Tarte Maracuja Tinted Hydrator, and this is in the shade 20N Light Neutral, and it actually is a bit too dark for me, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one as well. Then for my other primers, I have this one from Laura Mercier. This is the Pure Canvas Primer, the hydrating one. This is a silicone-free primer. It's just a clear, plain, super hydrating primer. This is one of my favorites that I've been reaching for pretty much every day. I'm probably about like up to here, I think. I've used quite a bit of it, so I'm definitely going to go ahead and hang on to this one for now. This was another one that I also really liked. It's the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Primer. This is the oil-free makeup gripping base. You can see I actually used this one a ton as well. I feel like this one is actually very similar to the Laura Mercier one, and I think it's a little bit more affordable. So if you've been wanting to try the Laura Mercier one, I would say go for the IT Cosmetics one, because this one is just as good, and I find that I really did notice a difference in my makeup longevity when I was using this one. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this. So this one I was actually quite excited for, but I was a little bit let down. It's the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer. So this one's kind of interesting. I like that it has this little pump, but if I put it out right over here, you can see it kind of has a little bit of a yellow tint to it, and it's supposed to be a more luminous base, but I find that it actually makes me look a little bit greasy, and I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought that I would, which is kind of unfortunate because I did buy this off of recommendation from a couple of people on YouTube. So I would say if you're interested in this, it's not necessarily worth it. I would say if you can get your hands on a mini one, try the mini one first. But this was quite expensive, and I just don't think it was worth it. That being said, it was still kind of expensive, and I don't hate it, and there are some that I think I can get rid of, so I'm going to keep this one for now since I'm going to be getting rid of a couple other ones. But yeah, basically, I wouldn't purchase this again, but it's fine for now. One that I'm going to get rid of is the Tarte this is the Tarte Quench Primer. This one's fine. It looks like I used a lot, but I literally only used this like once or twice. I think I got this in one of my Ipsy bags. I don't know if it was related to this, but my skin started kind of breaking out badly from this. I don't know if there's an ingredient in it that didn't agree with me, or it just happened to be like a circumstantial thing, but I mean, it wasn't super hydrating. It's more of like a gel-like formula, so it's not as rich and hydrating as other primers. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this since it is a mini and I don't really love it. A mini that I do love is this little Ilia one. This is the Ilia True Skin Radiant Priming Serum. I've used, I think, almost this whole thing. It's a little bit old now, and I do have a bunch of other primers that I'm just trying to work my way through. Yeah, I think this is actually empty. So I did really like this. I don't know if I'm going to purchase the full size just because it's quite expensive, and I do have a bunch of other full size ones that I'm working on right now. But I did like it. It was fine. I didn't hate it, but I'm just going to get rid of this for now since it's empty. This one is one of my current favorites. This is the Touch and Soul Pretty Filter Glassy Skin Balm. This one has actually really cool packaging to me for some reason. It's this, and this is such a dewy and luminous primer. So I don't know if you'll be able to see. So I have the Ole Henriksen one over here, and then I'll add the Pretty Filter one. But you can see it really does make your skin look super glossy and glassy, and I have very, very dry skin, so something like this to wear underneath any kind of foundation base is perfect for me. So I'm 100% going to keep this, and I would really, really recommend it if you have dry skin, especially for the winter time. It's a really hydrating, super rich, and also smells really, really nice, so definitely 100% going to keep this one. I think I'm going to keep this one for now. This is the Milk Hydro Grip. However, this one is a little bit picky with which foundations it wants to work with and which ones it doesn't want to work with. So one of my favorites is the Giorgio Armani foundation, and I find that this does not work with it. It kind of does that thing where it pills up and beads up a little bit. I'm going to try and use it again and maybe let this dry a little bit longer, and so that way it's not like as super sticky and tacky, so hopefully it won't pill up as much. But I do really like this. It smells really nice. I've just found that it's not like, it doesn't work 100% with every foundation, so I don't know if I would buy the full size. I'm glad that I just went with a mini for now, but I'm going to keep this for now and try to figure out if I can make it work a little bit more. And then the last two, this one was like a classic. This is the, you know what, it's actually very similar to the Ole Henriksen one. This is the Natural Radiance base, and this is in the shade, I think, Radiant Yellow. I haven't used this in forever, so it's like kind of gross, but it's the same thing where it has a little bit of shimmer to it. This one's definitely more hydrating than the Ole Henriksen one, but it does have that little bit of a glow to it. This one's quite nice. I would actually, prefer this one over the Ole Henriksen one, but this one's actually getting quite old, and it is almost all the way used up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one for now. I don't think I would repurchase just because I have other ones that I like over it, but it is a very good one if you do have it, and if you're interested in purchasing more MAC products, then this is a good one for you. All right, and then last one, this is the Ciate Watermelon Burst Hydrating Primer. I got this in an Ipsy bag, I think, or possibly BoxyCharm when I had it for like 2 months. This one's pretty nice. It's another one where it's like one of those pumps. You can see how glowy my hand is right now. So we'll go over here. But this one actually has these little black beads in it. I don't know if you can see that. The camera focuses. I'm on my new camera today, so let me know if you notice a difference. But if you rub it in, the little black beads kind of disintegrate, and then it leaves you with a really glowy base. It smells really nice, like watermelon. However, it's not as hydrating. It's more of just like a surface hydrate. It doesn't really like penetrate deep into your skin, so it's not as good for the winter months for me, and most of the months for me, since I do have really, really dry skin. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because it's a really cool product and it smells really nice, and I definitely think one of my friends would prefer this way more than me. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. So moving on to foundations, I have quite a lot of foundation and definitely some that I think I can get rid of. First one I'm going to be keeping is, I don't even think you can tell what it is anymore, but this is one of the Flesh stick foundations. I had mine in the shade 05 Creme Fraiche. This was one of my absolute favorite foundations, and surprisingly, it's a stick foundation, which I did not think that I would love. However, this shade is absolutely perfect, and it blends out so easily. It blends out with a brush, with a sponge, anything. It's just the perfect color for me. Absolutely love the formula. It lasts forever, and it wears really nice. So I find that if I'm wearing this for a really long time, like if I have a shift at 7 a.m., I get out at like 2 or 3, and it's still on. It faded a little bit, but it didn't fade where it gets patchy, clings to dry spots, anything like that. It just fades really evenly and really, really nicely. So I absolutely love this. I don't know if they still sell this since it was on clearance for a very long time at Ulta. I'm not sure if they were just like reformulating it or repackaging it, but if you can find this, on clearance at any of your local Ultas or stores or anything like that, I would say pick it up if they have it in your shade, because this is one of my absolute favorite foundations ever. So definitely going to keep this one. I really, really love this one. Two that are kind of similar are these Morphe 2 and the MAC Studio Water Weight Foundation. I have this one in the shade NC25 and then the Morphe 2 in Hint of Beige. This one, the Morphe 2 one, is actually a little bit yellow on me, but I find that if I mix it with a little bit of a lighter concealer, it's actually fine. But both of these products come in these little water droplets. So you can see it's quite runny, but I really love this one. It's, again, very hydrating, which is super nice. They are very similar, though, like, even just feeling them, they feel extremely similar. So if you are interested in trying out the MAC Water Weight one, but it's not in your price range or in your budget, then I would say go for the Morphe 2 one, because they are extremely similarly feeling. And then as you can see, I mean, they're quite similar colors. So if you are NC25, then I would say go for a hint of beige in the Morphe 2. Guess I'm going to keep both of them for now, just because they are both extremely new to me. I only got the MAC one like a couple of months ago, and then the Morphe 2 one I got like last month when 2 months ago, whenever the brand first came out and announced these products. So I am going to keep both of them for now. I have these two Urban Decay ones. I think these are actually supposed to be like kind of the same product. The original one that I have here is the Naked Skin One and Done, and I had mine in the shade Light. However, this is really not the shade Light. I would say it's more of a light to medium color. So you can kind of see it on here. Like, it looks a little bit brighter on my hand on the camera than it does in real life. But once this is on my face, this is actually like a bit of a darker foundation on me, because I have the Urban Decay Stay Naked, and this is in the shade 30CG, which is a quite tan shade for me. And the newer one is actually a little bit lighter. So you can see this is 30CG, and then this is the One and Done in Light. One I really loved. You can see I basically used up I think like pretty much the entire thing. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this, because it is quite a few years old now, and I feel like it definitely like started breaking me out if I was using it a little bit more recently. But they did come out with the Stay Naked, which I think is supposed to be a relaunch of the Naked Skin collection, because I'm pretty sure they're discontinuing almost everything from that line. And this is, again, one of my absolute favorite foundations ever. Again, it wears so nicely. It looks so flawless on my skin. It like completely blurs all of my pores. It's a really nice natural finish. It's not matte, it's not dewy. It's just right in the middle, natural skin finish, and I love, love, love that. So definitely going to keep this, and then I'm going to get rid of this. I have two of the Maybelline 24 Hour Super Stay foundation. I have a little bit of a lighter one and a little bit of a darker one. These ones have been laying on their side, but I'm pretty much up to like here with this one, and then this one I've used like up to here maybe. You can see there's quite, you know, a dent in both of these. This used to be my favorite foundation. I think like last year I would use it pretty much every day. I would mix these two shades or just use the lighter one if it was like winter. I was like, you know, didn't have any fake tan on or anything like that. The lighter one is in the shade 110 Porcelain, and then this one is in the shade 118 Light Beige. I think I might just hold on to them for now, just because these are a good, really long wearing foundation, a little bit more full coverage than what I typically have in my other ones. And I do really like the formula, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and keep these. That I can get rid of is this one right here. This is the First Aid Beauty Triple Protection Skin Tint, and I have mine in the shade Light. So it's in one of these like dropper bottle things, but I could never figure out how to actually, you know, like get the product out. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one because it doesn't work. This one I'm definitely going to keep is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. I have mine in the shade Fair 3W. You can see I accidentally left mine next to my curling iron and it like got burnt, but thankfully it didn't ruin the packaging or anything. This is so great. I've used a bunch of this as well. I think I've like used up to there, which is kind of a lot because I only ever use like 1 or 2 pumps of a foundation to begin with. But this is a really great, actually it's a tinted moisturizer, but it does have a pretty good amount of coverage, so I really do like this one, and it's very, very hydrating, which is again perfect for the winter. So definitely going to keep this one. However, I think one that I can get rid of, this one is just far too light. It's in the shade 805. It's the CoverGirl Outlast Active 24-Hour Foundation. This one was just too light for me, and I would try to make it work, but it was just too light and too pink, and it just didn't work. It was not good on my actual face, which was similar to the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear, which I do want to try to pick this up in a different color, because this one, like a lot of, favorites videos last year, and a lot of people liked it, but it was the same story. It was just too light, even a little bit lighter than that CoverGirl one, so I just never wore it because it made me look very ghostly. It was in the shade, let's see, 405. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of both of these just because they are far too light for me. Even contour and bronzer and everything couldn't save these ones, unfortunately. My Too Faced Born This Way. This one I've used, I think, like over half of. Again, it was laying on its side, so you can't really tell, but I'm pretty sure I used like kind of up to here. This was my first ever high-end foundation that I ever purchased, and I had mine in the shade Snow. This one was really great. It was like a perfect shade for me. Really nice foundation. It has the hyaluronic acid in it, so I always recommend this to customers whenever I'm at work. This is kind of old. I really love the formula, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the foundation. The last three I have over here. This is the Essence Fresh and Fit Awake Makeup Healthy Glow in the shade 20 Fresh Nude. This was one of my favorites. I actually went through an entire bottle of this, and I did repurchase it. I haven't used it that much since I repurchased the new bottle just because I had other foundations that I was loving, but this is like a really great shade for me, a really good match, and the formula is really great. This is another one that I'll put this on. I'll have it on the entire day from like 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and it just looks perfect still. It's really, really long wearing, and it doesn't cling to any dry patches or anything like that, so I really love this and I'm going to keep it. I actually found this one on sale through Beauty Deals BFF. You should follow her on Instagram. I will link it down below. She always posts really great sales and deals that are going on, so I got this from like the Giorgio Armani 35% off friends and family sale, I believe, so I got it for a really great deal. I have mine in the shade 4.5. It is a little bit deep for me. However, it's perfect when I have fake tan on. It lasts such a long time and it just has an amazing finish, and it looks really, really great on me. Undertone is perfect. It's not too pink. It's a little bit more olive and a little bit more golden, which is what I prefer. So definitely going to keep this one. This last one over here, which I'm actually going to get rid of. This is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I have mine in the shade Light, and this one is quite dark on me. Like, I need to be really tan for this one to work. It is a super deep olive color. Like, you can see how dark that is on me, and this is just the shade Light, which I think is like their second shade. Maybe they have Fair and then maybe Fair Light and then Light, but it is just way too deep on me. And I find that, I mean, a lot of people love this, but I felt like it was super cakey on me. I don't know if it was because it wasn't the right color, but it just looked so heavy and cakey on my skin, and I just did not love it. Although I know it's a lot of people, it's like their favorite go-to foundation, but for me it just did not work. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass this one on and get this dark color out of my collection. Alright, next up is my concealers. As you can see, I have quite a lot of them. Concealer is like one thing that I always am interested in trying out new formulas and seeing which ones work for me and don't work for me and are like my favorites. But I definitely have some that I can get rid of from here. Starting off with this one, I think I may have put this in with my eye primers just because I do use this as an eye primer, but it's the Kimchi The Most Concealer, and I have mine in the white shade. Yeah. I don't use this as a concealer, but it was just part of my concealers. I use this as an eye primer. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. This one is one of my favorites. This is the Kokie Be Bright Illuminating Concealer in the shade Light. It is a really nice, dewy, luminous concealer. I actually got this one in my Ipsy bag, and this one I love. You can see it's right over here. It has really nice coverage, but it's not super heavy. However, this does stay in my makeup my everyday makeup drawer because it's one of my favorites. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and keep that. This one actually snuck in. This is a little Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear. I got a little foundation sample. This is in the shade 220 Buff. It is too deep for me, so I'm going to go ahead and pass this one along. Then I have the Jeffree Star Magic Star Concealer in the shade C6. This one I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of as well. It was never one of my favorites, and it is a little bit light for me. I know the Kokie one looks kind of similar to it, but this one is just too light in a little bit of a different way. And again, I don't really support Jeffree Star on my channel, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one as well. This one I'm also going to get rid of. This is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Hydrating Concealer. The shade is a little bit too orange on me, and I just didn't absolutely love the formula. So you can see it right on here. The wand is also, it doesn't hold a lot of product, so you need to dip in like 500 times if you're using it. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one as well. Just wasn't one of my favorites. This one, however, is one of my favorites. It's the Urban Decay Stay Naked Concealer. I have mine in the shade 20 Warm Yellow. This one is a little bit light for me. However, I do really, really like it. It is so flawless on my under eyes, and it's one of my absolute favorites. I actually do have a backup of this one because you can see mine is getting there. It is almost all the way used up. I've had this forever too. Like, I bought the backup so long ago because I thought I was running out. But every time I took out the wand, I still had more. So, I'm gonna keep that one. This one I'm going to get rid of. It's the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Concealer in the shade Light 45W. This is too dark for me. It's a little bit too much of a deep olive color. It doesn't work for the under eyes, and I have other concealers that I prefer more for spot treating and just to use all over. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one because it just wasn't a standout and it is a little bit too deep for me. I have this NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Chantilly. This one I've had for a really long time, so I think I'm going to get rid of it just because it's old, but it also is stark pale. Like, it is a bit too light for me now, especially because I prefer my face to be a little bit more tan. So I'm going to go on and get rid of this one. Then I have the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Swan. This is one of my favorite concealers. It's very similar to the Urban Decay Stay Naked. Again, it's a little bit light. It's kind of the same tone as the Stay Naked, but I do really like this one to use as a bit more of a brightening concealer. And it's so huge, so it lasts forever. So definitely going to keep this one. This one I have in the shade Light Ivory. This is my favorite concealer at the moment. It is just the perfect shade for me right now, and it is so seamless under my eyes mixed with that Beauty Bakery powder. It's just such a good combination, and I really, really love this. It has such good coverage too, so definitely going to keep that. Then I have two Hourglass concealers right over here. I have, this one is in the shade Cotton, and this one is in the shade Oat. So I actually purchased, I think, whichever one is darker. I think it was possibly, let's see, this one is Cotton, and I think this one is Oat. Let's see. Yeah, so I purchased Oat first, which was a darker one. However, as you can see, it's like very weird. Like, it's, the wand gets so messy and around here gets so messy. So I actually emailed them because I thought that that was like faulty packaging. So like, okay, we'll resend you a new one. And I'm like, oh, it's also actually a little bit too dark. Could I get the shade lighter, which is the shade Cotton? So they're like, yeah, sure. However, it's the same story. It's still like very messy and very like goopy. It's almost like the stopper isn't like tight enough to kind of wipe off all the extra product. However, the concealer itself is a really great formula, and both of them do work for me. As you can see, Oat is a little bit deep, but it's perfect for when I have fake tan on, which is, you know, kind of often during the winter. I'm actually a little bit more tan during the winter just because I do use fake tan, and I really like the formula of both of these. This is the Vanish concealer, so I'm going to go ahead and keep them. And this one I'm going to get rid of, but not because I don't like it, just because it's all used up. I've gone through like 3 of these. This is the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Concealer in the shade Fair. It's a gel serum concealer, so it's very dewy and very luminous. It's that one right over here. It's so nice. I really love this one. It's just pretty much all used up. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this and actually repurchase it. Then I have this number 7 concealer. This is the Lift and Illuminate Serum Concealer. I got mine in the shade Light Medium, which was a mistake because it is far too dark. It really, like, it doesn't look that dark in the tube for some reason to me, but then I put it on my face and I was like, oh no. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. But I do want to try the formula because it's one of those serum concealers, so I thought it would be similar to the Bare Minerals one. So I'm going to get rid of this one for now, but I do want to repurchase it in the correct shade. And then lastly, I have the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This one is in the shade 5 Ivory. This is a long-time favorite. I've gone through like a million of these. I think I also have them in the shade 10. I just don't remember what name that one is. This one is a bit too light for me, but it is good to have a light concealer. You know, at least one. Not that light, but a little bit light is fine for me. So I'm going to keep this one just because I really love the formula, and that is that for the concealer. Just going to keep that one. Alright, last thing we have over here is going to be setting sprays. I'm probably going to be keeping most of them, but I think there are some that I can get rid of. Ones that I'm going to get rid of, I guess I could start with, are going to be this CoverFX one. This is the CoverFX High Performing Setting Spray, the 24-hour wear. It has that like little ball in it, so it's kind of fun. However, the sprayer online is like faulty, where it makes like one really strong spray. I don't even know if you can see on the camera, but it just like has like one really strong spray right through the middle, and then it kind of like spritzes out, and then one in the middle, so it's not like a really even application. So I could get a different sprayer for it, but honestly I just have so many of these already and I can't be bothered. And I've had this for like 2 years now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pass this one on. Then one I'm gonna keep is my MAC Fix Plus. This one's really great. I've gone through a bunch of minis of it and I finally splurged and bought the full size. I like this to use to wet my beauty blender or just to use even as a primer if I'm being lazy. Really like this one, and it smells so nice, like such a classic. Definitely gonna keep that. And that I'm going to get rid of is actually this Catrice Prime and Fine Long Lasting Multi-Talent Fixing Spray. I used to use this as a primer. I've gone through 1 bottle of this already, and then I have about I used about a quarter of this one. However, I do have a bunch of more sprays now, and I prefer to use regular primer instead of primer sprays. And if I do a primer spray, I'm just going to use the MAC Fix Plus over this one. It's really nice, but I'm going to go ahead and pass this one on since it's pretty much still full and I'm not going to use it. Then I have the ColourPop Pretty Fresh. This is a really great one I've used, I think like over half, if you can tell without me twisting the bottle. This one smells really great and I really love this one. It's very hydrating if I feel like my skin is super dry, so I'm going to keep that one. Then these two are pretty much the same thing. It's the Maybelline Lasting Fix. This is a really nice one. It has actually very similar packaging to the All Nighter. I just lost the cap for this one. But I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be, like, this is supposed to be a dupe for the All Nighter one, just because it's like Lasting Fix, All Nighter, same bottle. I'm going to keep the All Nighter one, and I'm just going to get rid of the Maybelline one. I've used a lot of this, but I just have other setting sprays that I like more, such as the original Urban Decay one. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this one on, just because I know I'm not going to use all of these before I go for this one. So I'm going to get rid of that one. And then I'm going to keep the regular Urban Decay All Nighter. This is actually the pollution protection. I don't know if they're all like that or if I just got that specific one. But I really like this to keep my makeup on all night. It's not necessarily one that I use if I feel like my skin is super dry or I want a little bit more of a glow. This is just strictly making my makeup last longer. But I really like it for that purpose. And then these two I actually believe are dupes for each other as well, formula-wise. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dewy Set Setting Spray. It's in a very similar spritzer to the MAC Fix Plus. However, the formula is actually a dupe for the e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. I think this one's a little bit more fragranced with some coconut fragrance. However, the formula, they look exactly the same when you put them on. They're extremely dewy, extremely glowy. I've actually gone through an entire bottle of this one as well, and this is my second one. So I really like to use this one if I feel like my makeup is looking dry. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. And I'm also going to keep the e.l.f. one. I really like to use those interchangeably. This one smells like coconuts, which is really nice, and sometimes I'm just like in the mood to smell like coconuts. So I'll go for this one. This one's also quite new to me, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that one as well. And then I have these two. I have this little mini Glam Glow Glow Setter. I've used up another mini of this one. However, the scent of it is really nice, but I got sick of it very quickly, and I just like, the smell of it like brings me back to a time I just like don't know why it bothers me. So I don't like the scent of this anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. And then this one is my current favorite. This is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Hyaluronic Acid Coconut Water Aloe Vera Extract 16-Hour Wear Setting Spray. This one is so great. Again, it's a similar bottle to the Urban Decay one, but I actually really like this one. It just adds a little bit of a glow, keeps my skin hydrated. I really like this. Sometimes I use it before my foundation, sometimes, well, I always use it after, but sometimes I do it before if my skin's feeling like extra dry. And I really like it. It also helps my makeup last a really long time as well because it has that 16-hour wear. So I really recommend this one. If you're looking for a new setting spray currently, I really like this one. It has a lot of good skincare benefits to it. So love that. Alright, and that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this declutter. I'm trying to think what I have next. Oh, lip products. So next video will be all of my lip products. And guys, that is going to be a big one. Lots of swatches. I kind of have an addiction to lip glosses, and I don't know how that happened, and lip balms. A little bit of lipstick, but mostly going to be lip glosses, so stay tuned for that. I will see you guys in the next video, and hopefully you enjoyed the new camera and maybe kind of new setup-ish. But I'll see you guys then, and hope you enjoyed. Bye!